sorrow for me. You
Sorry.
know, last week 2 weeks ago, we went to Achempe Mini's
Mm-hmm.
funeral too. So it brings home to the fact that we die and take nothing with us. And so
Yeah.
we should try as much as possible to work and live together
Yeah. And be good.
and be
And leave
good
a
to each
legacy.
other
Yes.
and help each other.
Yep.
All these things we do because of politics really does not help us.
Nope.
And I always say, if the good Lord said, when you die, you bring all your possessions to where you're going, that would be a different ball game.
Yes.
But you leave it here. So let's try as much as possible to be friendly to each other. We can have different thoughts about things, but it doesn't mean that we should put ourselves in a situation where it creates huge challenges for us.
Yeah. Absolutely important.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I think it's a good time to delve into our conversation,
Okay.
and we'll start off from what happened yesterday, the peace pact that
Yes.
was signed by the flag bearers of the various political parties. Is to ensure that they commit to peace before, during, and after the elections. And I'll start with you, Ishak. And
Okay.
how significant is the signing of the peace pact,
Peace pact, yeah.
to the sustenance of the country's peace before, during, and after the election, especially during the elections and post-elections?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Before I will add, I think what Mr. Gentua just said almost goes alongside with what you have just asked me. The fact that we need to maintain political morality and to know that when we are here, the only thing we take away from this world when we die is a legacy, which is very, very important. And it's directly connected to the purpose. Why do we even do this election that we are doing? It's very, very important for us to always remind each other. When we are having election, we should not win at the cost of people dying. We should not win at the cost of causing panic. We only have one republic, and it is very, very important we have that in our mind, in whatever we do. So the signing of the pact, I think, is something we need to celebrate. From the beginning of this year, when the NDCs were dragging their feet that they would not sign, they would not sign, they would not sign, they would not sign, it was quite worrying, because signing a peace pact, as we have traditionally done, is a way of communicating to our grassroots that, look, regardless of the outcome, there will always be peaceful transition if that is what Ghanaians want. And if the Ghanaians want us to maintain the status quo, we will do that. As the constitution writer said, power emanates from the people. And the only way one who has legitimacy to rule is the one the people have given power. And signing the peace pact tells our grassroots members that this is our commitment, that the only best help you can give to your party is to campaign hard and come out in your numbers and vote. So with all of them signing and the handshake that our flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, had with the former president, I mean, was quite triumph. I mean, I love that. When the people see it, they see that these are not enemies. And that if you go to the polling station that day, you have to vote peaceful and get out of the way. As the IGP said, they will be ruthless on anyone who tries to foment trouble. And this peace pact tells you that your leader will not be with you if you go and cause trouble. I am the legal coordinator for the Northeast region. I am not coordinating to help somebody who unnecessarily cause trouble, unnecessarily cause tension. Because we are not going to win election on the blood of anyone. The only blood we need from you is the blood that takes you to the police station to vote and go home. So the peace pact was very, very important. And we need to follow it up with actions and our utterances. Signing a peace pact is not enough. If you sign it, you have to follow up with your words and your actions and advise the grassroots that this is the only republic we have. If we foment trouble, we're not going to have a republic. And Ghana, too, since independence, since 1957, we have assumed a role of role model for countries in the sub-region, for countries in the sub-Saharan Africa. And we need to guide that jealously, that when you go to other countries, they wish they were like Ghana. I've got a friend from Togo who said, how do you usually do it? We do it because we are brought up to be tolerant of each other, regardless of your political background. And I think we need to keep it that way.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
At least, let me go to Mr. Janto at this point in time as well. What do you believe that the peace pact will achieve, especially when, for the NDC, for example, when they indicated that they were not going to sign it, one of their major concerns was that they keep signing the peace pact and violence, we keep experiencing violence. And they cite the 2020 example where 8 people lost their lives. References are also made to the Yawaso West Wagon by-election violence. And so does the peace pact have the ability to forestall some of these violent incidents we record during the elections?
Peace pact
Yes.
is a relic of our turbulent military past,
Okay.
when military leaders now turned into civilian presidents. That's when it started. Not true?
Yeah.
Did we sign peace pact after the 66 coup and after all those coups? It was in 92, wasn't it? That we started. And it's a relic. Has the peace pact stopped violence from happening? All these peace pacts that have been signed, has it stopped violence? So what does that tell you?
There's more than just signing
Exactly.
a pact.
Exactly. Exactly. If it is something that we're really serious and it is something that we need to do,
Sorry.
the discussions and the conversations with regards to electoral peace should have started 6 months before.
But what if they were doing that in the background?
Who?
Because as far as I remember, the NDC had been indicating for
Let me finish.
a while now that they were not
Let-
going to
let me
sign.
finish. 6 months before, it should have been taken up by the NCCE
Okay.
in conjunction with the political parties. Where the Peace Council is concerned, it should be a yearly thing, because we want to get to a point where we don't need to sign any peace pact. Everybody understands what it means by having elections and having peaceful elections. But have we been able to do it? Look, if we had done education from beginning of the year right through to now, the signing of the peace pact by the leaders would be the culmination of that exercise.
Okay.
So, after we sign peace pact, what happens? Let's put Ayawaso West Wagon aside, and which was the other one you quoted?
The 2020 elections,
Uh-huh.
the 8
Was
people
it-
that lost their lives.
That happened, didn't it?
Yes.
And even after that happened, what happened in Parliament?
Yeah. In
What
terms of
happened in
the
Parliament?
chaos in Parliament before.
Exactly. Did they not fight?
They
Was
did.
that peaceful?
No.
So, what is it for? If you cannot sign a peace pact and carry it through the entire period before the new government takes over, what's the use? What's the use? So, just signing a peace pact, really and truly, I don't think stops the fomenting of problem. Signing paper does not stop the fomenting of violence. But you know, my particular concern is that violence is triggered by certain things, isn't it? And for me, it's got to do with the Electoral Commission.
Electoral Commission, they were also there. They were there and they said that they will ensure that whatever they do is with integrity, will be transparent, and the results they will declare on the day will be a reflection of the will of the people.
And then, was it yesterday? or
Yes.
the day before?
Yesterday?
Was it yesterday?
Is it the one in relation to the insufficiency
Yes.
for the Volta
Yes.
region? Yes.
Did you not hear that?
Yes. They put out a statement yesterday.
And if somebody wants to ferment trouble, wouldn't they even ferment trouble? They shouldn't be saying one thing and acting differently. It can't be.
But what if it wasn't their fault? There was a shortfall.
What are you trying to tell me? Wait. Now what are you saying? It wasn't their fault. Isn't it their responsibility to make sure that ballot papers are fully given to every constituency, especially when it's a stronghold of another political party? Can you imagine if ballot papers went short in Ashanti? Can you imagine? If ballot papers went short in Greater Accra, if ballot papers went short in Eastern Region, especially those regions with huge constituencies. So you don't come and plead and pledge peace, but then when you go back, you do something else. Couldn't Sal have created a violent situation when EC decided that, no, they are not going to be represented in Parliament? Couldn't it? So they should try their possible best to stick to what they mean. Now let me ask, do the people of Ghana trust the Electoral Commission?
Well, from the Afrobarometer report, the trust is waning.
Have they been able to build that confidence from 2020, from the debacle of 2020?
From the Afrobarometer reports, no, they have not been able to.
So if they do not handle the elections to the satisfaction, and the perception there is that they want to favor a particular political party, will that not foment trouble?
It will, it could.
It could. It could foment trouble. And it will foment trouble. It's just that, Ghanaians... Has there been a war in Ghana before?
Not that I will remember.
There hasn't been a war in Ghana before.
No.
In this,
Ghana with civil wars.
Where? Northern Ghana.
Yes. 1992, 1994.
What?
I was a student.
Civil war.
It was a
Civil
civil
war.
war.
It wasn't a civil war.
It was a tribal civil
Disruption.
war.
Conflict.
Disruption, conflict.
Well,
it can't be a
what
civil
is the
war.
difference between war and
No.
conflict?
Ukraine is war. Ukraine is war.
Listen, my friend, that's
Cote d'Ivoire was war. That
What
was
is a
civil war.
conflict and war?
Sierra
What is the
Leone
difference
was
between-
war. Liberia was war.
okay.
Not Ghana. And it is so because of the way we are culturally set up.
Yeah.
And so peace reigns. Look, part of my father's family are Santin Kremo.
Okay.
I have brothers and cousins who are Santin Kremo,
And we have to go for Friday prayer today.
who have to go for Friday prayer and all that. Are you trying to tell me that because they are Santin Kremo, they are my relatives, I would foment trouble because they've done something? No. And the way we have interspersed ourselves in marriages, in schools and all that, it makes it difficult. However, the political culture in the country does not help us. That is where the problem is. So you sign any peace pact you want to sign. If a politician wants to foment trouble, he will foment trouble. Look at some of the utterances, both from the NDC and the MPP. Brian Echampong, what hasn't he said? What hasn't he said? So, just signing of paper, for me, if there's no meaning to the signing of the peace pact, it would not create any situation where that peace pact works. I would have also thought that what's that? Is it Peace Commission? What are they called?
National Peace Council.
National Peace Council
Yes.
would take up that mandate of educating people throughout the 4 years.
Well, they say they do a lot of backroom engagement. They are not in your...
Backroom engagement. Why should it be backroom engagement? Do it freely for us to see.
Do they believe in...
What is the backroom engagement for?
Because they believe the dialogue does not have to be in the limelight.
The dialogue should be in the limelight for people to see the work
All
they are
the time.
doing. Yes. They should have town hall meetings. Bring the media. televise it for people to see what is happening.
What would that change?
Mindset. Mindset. Hey, Peace Council. Say, Peace Council. Say. It goes down, it sinks down to schools. They should go to schools. You know, they should go out there. And government should budget for these things. NCC, what is their strength in terms of their financial capacity? Institutions like that, we should make sure that we strengthen them. Look, electoral violence and vigilantism, they are causes. And you know politicians use vigilantes, don't they? Huh?
Yeah.
They use them.
So all the macho men we see around,
yes,
yeah.
yes. And then disputes over election results.
Well, the Chief Justice was there.
Disputes? You said Chief Justice was there?
Yes.
To say what?
Assure.
sign?
No. She was there to assure the country of the judiciary's impartiality and then their commitment to the country's peace as well, and to also speedily address issues that may come up as a result of, disputes on the election.
Well, let us see that she has also set up courts specifically to handle these disputes as they come in. You don't only need presidential candidates to take it to court. Constituencies and different parts of the country, if they are not happy, they can take it to court. Individuals can take election results to court. Then electoral offenses, where vote buying, multiple voting, impersonation undermine the integrity of the electoral process. That can also cause the lack of trust in the Electoral Commission. The mistrust in the Electoral Commission can also contribute to tensions and disputes during elections. And I ask the question, do we trust the Electoral Commission?
In terms of trust, you don't think the EC is doing a good job to earn the people's trust?
What did the Afrobarometer say? It's not me saying it. What did the Afrobarometer say? So it is up to the Electoral Commission to build confidence in the people. For me, after the 2020 elections, where the
declaration?
The declaration of presidential was done more than once. That was a huge confidence crash for the Electoral Commission. And they should have started building their confidence up. And then the president's nominations also. The president has a huge role to play with regards to the nominations of those in the Electoral Commission. Maybe the next government that comes in, and now I keep saying, and I'll continuously say, I really don't care who comes into power, so far as they do what is right for Ghana. Period.
That's it.
Period. Certain anomalies, is that how they pronounce it? Anomalies in the Constitution should be looked at, especially the president's powers, where it can tilt to one side. Because unfortunately, the political culture in this country, especially in this administration, has tilted towards procurement.
So we run a procurement economy.
Yes, tilted towards procurement. And as it tilts towards procurement, other people, even within the establishment, are not part of that procurement. And it is dangerous. Would you say everybody in MPP are happy with Akufo-Addo's government? No. No. But it shouldn't be so. It should not be so. So, I hope that peace will emanate from the people. The people themselves will realize that we only have one country called Ghana. If anybody at the polling station tries to do anything untoward, the police have to be neutral in how they handle it. Yesterday, some of us had the opportunity to meet with the IGP. The IGP met the private sector, and he assured us that they are in tip-top condition in terms of policing these elections.
And preparations for it.
And the question was asked, what about the 8 who died the last election?
Yeah.
And he indicated, he was very blunt, he indicated, it isn't that the police have gone to sleep on it. The case, they are still working on the case today. And it's going to come to court soon. One of the major challenges he said they've had is the fact that people within the areas that the people were killed know who did it, but they don't want to come up to pinpoint people. So they now have to investigate deeper to fish these people out. And it takes time. He has given us, and he was confident in what he was saying. I can't say anything ultra-virus to that confidence I saw in him.
Okay.
They said the proof of the pudding is what?
It's in the eating.
Is in the eating. So let's see. We're going into election next week. Next week by this time, next week Friday,
Yes,
is
so-
a holiday.
yes.
And look, I'm so happy that it's a holiday.
Oh.
You know why I'm happy it's
Why
a
you
holiday? It could kill a lot of apathy.
People will be rested enough.
Yes, people be rested enough to go and vote. Apathy would cause challenges for this election.
Yeah.
And if a lot of people are going to vote now, mark it somewhere, this election can go second round.
Really?
Yes. This election can go second round. And this election, for me, is based in Ashanti. And if you see all the flag bearers trooping into Ashanti, it should tell you something. It should tell you something. 47 constituencies, no mean number. Unfortunately, the hyena will be gnawing at one party, which is the MPP. CPP will be gnawing at them. NDC will be gnawing at them. Movement will be gnawing at them. All the 13 will be gnawing at them, trying to get their votes. So they need to be extra strong. And that is where, if you are not careful, malpractice can come in. I'm glad that the Electoral Commission, because it could have fomented trouble, the Electoral Commission has rescinded its decision not to allow press, quite a number of press
But
people.
Is the next
in the
thing we are going
collate-
to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is up, for me, it is up to the Electoral Commission how they handle it. If they repeat what they did in 2020, definitely it's going to foment trouble. If they repeat what happened in 2020 with regards to the presidential result, it will foment. It didn't foment trouble then. It was a lot of it took everybody by surprise, and people couldn't understand it. This time we realized that it's a possibility it can happen again.
Yes.
But I hope it doesn't happen again. One time
Victory.
victory. Not even victory. One time result.
One time. Okay.
MPP has won. NDC has won. CPP has won. Movement for Change has won. Then we all know if it's going to go second round, then let it go second round. But somebody sent me a message because we discussed this particular issue on another channel.
Okay.
And somebody sent me a message. I don't want to mention the person's name because the person
Is it
too-
in relation to the Peace Pact?
it's in relation to the fact that if it goes second round, whether EC would be able to handle it because of what is happening with the ballot papers.
printing.
But all that is part and parcel of the Peace Pact. When you get a situation where the president does not accept a commission inquiry report, which is also West Wogon, and puts a white paper on it, and the person who handled that report is an eminent citizen of this country, then it can ask for question marks. So, for me, I believe the peace of the elections depend on the people. If anybody comes to instigate you, especially a politician comes to instigate you, try as much as possible not to heed to that instigation. Because yes, we need the peace. And I believe that the election itself, the going to vote and all that will be peaceful. It happens with the collation of the votes. And I still maintain please, EC, set up a board, a digitalized board at Black Star Square. As the votes are coming in, is tallied there. Everybody sees it. So that when the Electoral Commission comes and says John Mahama has won, we know it. Baumia has won. Chematin has won. X Juan has won. We all see it, and then we move it. Because now, between 2025 and the next election, 2028, this country is going to go through a lot of challenges financially. And we need a peace of mind to be able to sort these things out. And for Ghanaians to also know how they are going to live. Because there are huge challenges that we need to face.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Jantwa. Salifo, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I hope you're well.
Yes, I'm fine. Sorry for coming in a little late.
Good to have you. So we're just we're talking about the signing of the Peace Pact and whether or not they believe that it would have any impact on the peace of the country before, during, and after the elections. So let me quickly pick your thoughts before we talk about the EC and an initial plan to restrict media access to coalition centers.
All right. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so it's the most topical issue now. I don't think that's going to have any impact anyway.
You don't
it's
think
only
so?
good for the optics. Yeah, I don't think so because.
So it's only good for the optics.
Yes, this is not the first time we have signed a peace pact. In fact, it was signed even in the 2020 elections before we lost about 8 lives. So I don't. You know, peace pact. You know, historically, it would sound as though we are at war. You know, we heard about these things in countries where there were wars, like Liberia, and then they tried to bring the warring factions to the round table or the peace table to negotiate, and then they signed pact. It's more like a memorandum of understanding kind of thing, you know. And but this particular one, there's no legal consequence. You know, we just sign it. It's good for the optics, and I believe that most of the candidates are also blackmailed into signing it because, you know, the general public is watching. Yeah, that's why.
Why? Is it because of the public and the diplomatic community and everything?
Yes, not so much. The diplomatic community, I don't even think it's more about them. It's about the voters.
Okay.
You know, and especially those that are in the middle, that's the independent and floating voters. Yeah, they want to see that all the people who are vying for positions are peaceful. They are people of peace and all of that, you know. So, but besides that, I don't think that, again, the typical or classic example is just the 2020 elections when after signing that we had 8 lives that were lost and nothing is happening about them and still they want to force the contestants to go and sign a pact again. Well, yes, they have signed, but I can assure you that if the election doesn't go well, there'll be no peace. If anybody feels cheated, they will fight back. They will fight seriously, and I subscribe to that because if you are cheated, I'm not somebody who will say that when you are cheated, you should just fold your arms and watch.
Not even for the peace of the country?
No, with the peace of the people who are cheating, don't they know that because of peace, they should not cheat because of the peace of the country. But if they would overlook the peace of the country and go ahead and cheat, then the people who react should not be told that for them they should just sacrifice their victory. No, because we are putting in a lot, and so our will should prevail. If we express our wishes through the ballot box, it should prevail, it should count. So anybody who is going to stand in the way of that should be ready that there's not going to be peace for that person.
In relation to that, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Madam Jean Mensah, she was at the event, and she said that the EC is conducting itself in a transparent manner, and most importantly, come December 7, 2024 or after, the results that will be declared will be a reflection of the will of the people. Doesn't that give you an assurance enough?
No, not really. They are, although I think that many of their missteps were discovered mostly by the opposition, that's NDC, and then they corrected them. So yeah, I would say fairly that we are moving okay. But it doesn't mean that things cannot go back. And you see, we have heard these things over and over again. Nobody comes, she can never come out and say that, well, I'm going to play any tricks with anybody. She will always tell us, and you see that they are struggling to win the confidence of Ghanaians as well. And that is why they are even putting ads on radio and television for the people to have confidence and that we are doing this, we are doing that. Yes, all those things, the rules and the way the ballot accounting is done is there. Clearly, we all know. And they will tell you that the elections are won at the polling stations. I believe so, that they are won at the polling stations. But it doesn't mean that things cannot be manipulated at the polling stations. It can be manipulated at the polling stations. That is why we have to be vigilant. And that's why every party's agent has to be vigilant. It is in the course of being vigilant when others want to manipulate the system, that is when the violence breaks up. So we need to understand that. So the fact that elections are won at the polling stations, yes, we agree. But if at the polling station somebody comes there and wants to stuff the box, that is when a fight is going to break up. Or when over there somebody comes and causes confusion and then they want to exchange the ballot boxes, that is where confusion will break up. So yes, indeed, the polling station, we understand that. So she can say all the good things. Yeah, were these not the same situations before she declared the results in 2020 about 3 times, 3 or 4 or 5 times? So yes, we know. We know really that, yeah, they would say that. They are trying to be transparent. They are doing everything right. Yeah, but we complain consistently from the beginning. In fact, from even the registration of voters. From registration of voters, we said that, let's take it to the electoral areas. If I take it to, because the Constitution says that, look, make the process available to the people as much as possible, fairly distributed so that people can just walk in and register. But you said you would do it only at the district capital or the district offices. And so if the parties, so it became a problem for the parties. It's not supposed to be a problem of the parties, but the parties now have to mobilize people from the hinterland, rural areas, and then transport them, find money. So if a party doesn't have money to mobilize those people and send them to the district office of the Electoral Commission, those people will not be able to register to vote. So that is part of the process. The process was skewed. The process was rigged right from the onset. So, and then the registration itself, they will get one thing wrong or the other, and when their attention is drawn to it, and they will say, oh, it's a mistake, or it's a choral draw, it's addition, it's this.
Now, speaking of which, the Commission issued a statement yesterday evening saying that they had observed a shortfall with regards to the ballot papers coming from the Volta regions. Volta regions, so they are augmenting. They are making the necessary rectification. As a party, how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm expecting to hear officially from my party and from the election directorate. But as a president of Lawyers in Search of Democracy, as soon as I move out of this studio, I'm going to issue a statement. I'm going to prepare a statement and issue on that. Why is this not happening in Mensha? Why is it not happening in Kwabre East? Why Ketu South? Why is it happening in NDC strongholds? So some of these things, they create suspicions, and nobody will talk about these things. So these are the things we can't just take it for granted. We're in this country when on the eve of election they come and say that there are about 4 traditional areas you won't vote at all. You won't elect anybody to represent you, and then the courts also did not even help them for entire 4 years. You see, we saw all of that, and yet you will see people on the other side or on government side argue every point of this, try to justify everything and make excuses for everything when people were denied representation in parliament. And it was the same electoral commission. And before it will come to that, the people from those areas had consistently approached the EC and asking, are we going to vote? How are we going to vote? They said, don't worry. Then at the very last minute, the day before the election, and then you just issue a statement and say, oh, these people will not vote. And it's shocked, and these people don't care. They don't care at all. And they think that, yeah, that's democracy, so we can make excuses for them. We can open the law books and then find something to support why it should be so, why it should, some of these things. That is why we are not consistent in this country. And then, so when it happens the next time round, then I don't expect to see these people now trying to, look, it's the same thing. When it suits them, they went ahead and said that, well, the meaning of a particular provision in the Constitution is that, oh, somebody had crossed carpet. This person used to be our peasant, but he had crossed carpet and is contesting as independent, so sack him. And then they sack him, and they were happy. They were gloating, yay. Then when another time, the same situation came over, and then somebody else argued, and then it's going to affect their numbers. Then they now ran to Supreme Court. They say, oh, no, that article has to be explained by the Supreme Court. It has to be interpreted. And then you see Ishaq and everybody saying that, yeah, it's only the Supreme Court that can explain the Constitution, that can interpret. So when you do these kind of things, people will not have confidence in you yourself, will not have confidence in the system also. That is what they are creating. I am saying that, and I am saying if I were the Chief Justice... But
are you worried? Okay, when you're done with the statement...
Yes, if I were the Chief Justice, I'm saying that, the fact alone that the people who had run to court, who came and said that, interpret this to still let us maintain our status as majority, were the same people who benefited from that, and they were the one that triggered. That would be even a reason to sack them. to say, no, I can't entertain this when you benefited from the same thing, you see. And then now you are coming out with all the arguments because they know all the laws. So they will quote everything to say that it is only the Supreme Court that has to explain. When it was then, they didn't know that they had to run to Supreme Court. So when these things happen, you can't force us. And we as lawyers, you see, what they do to us all the time is that they push us to a tight corner and say, oh, yeah, because it's a court, you can't say anything. Let's accept it just like that. It doesn't mean we should accept any nonsense. If it doesn't make sense, we will not accept it. We have to talk about it.
Charity Keta says that it will be naive to say that criticism of the courts is an attack on it.
Yes, and it's correct. And it's correct because for me, I even see the criticism of the court as feedback to them because they also need feedback. The judges need feedback. So if you don't give them this feedback, but as soon as you begin to criticize, then others try to put you. I heard the Attorney General say that the General Legal Counsel should deal rudely or harshly with people who he used the word unfairly, who criticize the court unfairly. Unfairly, who determines whether it's fair or unfair? You know, it's them. It's the system, twisted, everything. So when they are in government, when this particular party is in government, they control everything. They control everything, and they want to have authority over everything, every institution. That's what they do. Okay. That's very unfortunate.
And I asked for your party. Are you worried about the shortfall as communicated by the EC? Well, they are going to make up for it at Acts Commercial, and the various places affected are Keta, Ketu North, Ho Central, Ho Hwe, and Ho West.
Yeah, definitely. And Ho West, my constituency. Yeah, I am concerned. The only reason why I am calm for now is that I also trust the election directorate, Dr. Amani Boma and his team. And so as I haven't heard anything from them, I want to believe that they are on top of things. Okay. That is the only reason why I'm calm.
The printing will be done this morning at 10 a.m.
Yes.
And per the communication, the political parties were supposed to send 2 representatives each.
Yeah. So that's it. Somebody drew my attention to this earlier, and I said, well, it's just because the guys that are managing this for us, I have confidence in them.
Okay.
And so I want to believe that until they say something, you know, if they complain, then I know there's a problem. But that notwithstanding, Linsalt is going to issue a statement why this should be occurring only with areas that are the stronghold of NDC. We should issue a statement, and we'll send a copy to your station as well.
All right. Okay. We'll be on standby for that. Ishak, now let's talk about the EC and then the earlier communication that was put out there regarding the media.
Yeah.
Coalition centers. The explanation there's been a huge backlash, and the EC has subsequently issued a statement saying that they have suspended it and they are engaging further on it. But many people were asking whether this consultation could not have been done earlier before that. But in relation to that decision, when you first heard it, what did you make of it?
Okay. Thank you very much. Before I come to that, let me briefly just revisit by way of observation that I've made. Ms. Alifo's contribution is quite disappointing. You see, before he came in, I said signing was not enough. We need to walk the talk.
Yeah. Which Jantwa re-emphasized. And it was also a point made by John Mahama.
What he said is really disappointing. In fact, it is a confession that President Mahama only signing for the cameras. He doesn't mean
But you heard him when he said that he is committed as well as his party.
No, but it is a confession from his from his agent. On behalf of the principal.
You mean I'm confessing for President Mahama?
He said it was only for the artist.
So
yes.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I'm saying that you're saying that what's the name is a confession. I'm saying John Mahama at the venue said he is committed, his party is committed, and that going further, we must back our words with action.
But this is a confession that it is only for the cameras. I keep repeating that. That's what he said.
Who said to me?
Yes,
I said so. But I am not John Mahama.
The flag bearer of the NDC,
but the truth, everybody knows that.
There for the cameras. You see, as I said earlier, Ghana is a role model for Africa. Look, Mr. Jantua made it very clear. The 8 people that has not been brought to justice is not because government is not working on that. The police, from what he said that there are people who could have giving them information.
I will believe
they
that.
have failed to
I don't
do
believe that. I
He
heard Senior
believe
say
it.
it today. No, yeah, well, he may, but
Mr.
I don't.
Gentile
I don't think
believe
that.
it.
I don't think that it makes sense to
You see
anybody.
that?
4 years. 4 years.
So I believe
It's not true. They are not doing anything
I'm
about
only
it.
hoping that it's not just for cameras. We are really committed to it. Because as he said,
Who is committed to it?
We
You
need to
people
have
who
a
killed 8 people.
political morality.
So you people who killed 8 people, you were
Nobody is
committed to
going
it in
to leave
2020.
this
You were
world
not.
with anything.
You were not committed
I
to it.
believe in that. I wouldn't want anybody to die for me just that I can have political power.
Would
Go and talk to your
would
youth
you
organizer.
say- Say that.
Go and hear what your youth organizer said.
Mr.
So you will not
Mr.
sacrifice your
Lifo.
victory for
Yes,
peace.
say that.
Yes, he actually was here, right
Yes.
opposite my colleague Vanessa, and he repeated. He says they will not sacrifice their
Yes.
victory for peace.
Who is that? Your mama was here?
No,
The
your-
youth
your
organizer of
organi-
MPP.
Salam,
Of
Mustafa.
MPP.
Yes.
Salam
So he
Mustafa.
reiterated, we will not sacrifice. I mean, there's no point. I mean, we are committed to
He
peace.
says they will not sacrifice their victory for peace.
For peace.
That's what he
Thank you.
said.
Yeah, for peace. It means
Oh,
that. It means
you
that
mean
for
you
them.
will not sacrifice?
Yes.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, he
I
said
didn't
it.
hear him.
Yeah,
I mean,
but he
that would
said-
be inappropriate.
We are telling you, he said so.
But what I'm saying is that if we have actually won the election, I think what he meant is that if somebody is going to foment a trouble, we are not just going to give it to him simple because.
But how is that
we
different
love
from
it.
what he said?
Okay, that's not
what
different
he
from what I'm
said-
saying anyway.
What he said is that the signing was just for the cameras.
Can I say
Oh.
that?
They would fight if there's a need. But what I would tell Mr. Lifo,
So you won't fight
he's
when there's a need?
lawyer.
Wait,
What
you
I
won't fight-
tell him is that
Mr. Ali,
But he just
if
said
you
the
are
same
not
thing
happy
also.
with anything in
Eh.
a civilized democracy, if you are not happy with an outcome and you believe you have been cheated, in a civilized democracy, you go to court.
Oh.
The Constitution has made provision for that.
Okay.
The Constitution did not say fight.
But you people, you have rigged
So-
the
You
court.
say
You
that.
have rigged the court
But
as
having
well.
said that, let's come to your question.
So-
Having said that, let's come to your
Shaq,
question.
just a quick one. I'm saying so for those who
Yes.
would say that this is for the optics because we signed this
Yes.
pact in
Yes.
2020. I think this will be the
Rome
fourth.
wasn't built in a day. But if we
And
have
mo-
an attitude with NDC like
So can
this,
I-
of course you still sign a peace back, but you have problems.
But you still killed.
Because they'll still
Who
be
killed?
blowing
But
their
so
dog
who killed in
They'll-
2020?
Yes.
Mr.
NDC didn't
Okay,
do anything in
Shaq.
2020.
Let our
Isha.
host land. Yes.
Isha.
Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
I'm saying that for those who say that it's for the optics, they
Yes.
make reference to the very recent
Yes.
past, which is 2020.
Yes.
Techiman South is there for everybody to remember.
Yes.
Odoko is there for everybody to remember.
Okay.
And this is despite a peace pact.
Yes.
Yet military people were deployed to some of these areas. People opened fire straight into crowds and people lost their lives.
Rome wasn't built in a
And
day.
so if people say this is for
What
the
does
optics,
that
you
got to do with
sign
Rome?
I will
and
explain.
if you say Rome was not built in a day,
In a day.
this is not the first time we're
We-
signing our peace pact.
Yes. As a country, we need to build very strong institutions. As Mr. Jensua have explained, it is not the making of a government, it's why corporates have not been brought
All
into
right.
justice.
It's not. There's a
Even
making of
citizens
who?
themselves are not helpful to the system.
No, no,
All
no,
right,
no.
that's
As the IGP explained,
okay.
they need information from citizens.
I think
If
that
citizens will not
point
bring
is I think that
information,
point has
how
been
do
well
they
made.
prosecute people?
Let's make progress and
Okay.
talk about the media
Okay.
and the electoral commission.
The Electoral Commission, I'm happy they have reversed the decision that they have
You
made.
said it's suspended, not reversed.
Okay, suspended means what? After the election, they will implement
They are
it.
suspended.
I mean, suspension simple means they are not going to
They are
implement
suspending to
Yes.
Maybe
engage
for a few
further.
weeks.
it. Yes.
They are
My
suspending to engage further.
advice to the Electoral Commission is, if it is not broken,
Don't fix it.
Especially when you have nagging partners. When you have a nagging partner, I think this is a show that I'm repeating it. Nagging is usually
Nagging. Who had a nagging partner? The
Electoral
EC?
Commission
So
has
the
a
EC
nagging
is so the EC a party to
You
the
see,
election.
they whine
You see what you are
on
saying? If you say the
everything.
EC had a nagging
The,
partner,
the, the,
EC
the
is not-
NDC always try to make
So is the EC
a
on your
mountain
side?
out of a mole. No, they are not.
So-
but
so
we have
how-
seen in the history, the beginning of this year, you have
Kindly
complained
make your point.
about everything.
Kindly make your
So my advice to the Electoral Commission, I don't know why they said 8 media houses need to be accredited at the constituency level and 12 at the regional level. I don't know the reasoning behind it.
Okay, so let me
Could
explain.
it be because
they
of
say,
this? Yes.
They say that it was to ensure that the collation centers are not crowded and that
Which
the
is
media
reasonable.
and that the media would
We
go
want
to-
visibility
and
of
that,
the box.
and that the media would also get the opportunity to go to other places. They say that
Yes.
they've noticed a trend where sometimes the media prefers or
Concentrate in one area.
in some areas which there is a lot of interest,
Yes.
and so
All this
it will
makes
crowd
sense.
some of these collation
Yes.
centers. But then again,
Yeah.
they are engaging now.
Yes.
How about
What
they had done
just,
the
what
engagement
they have
prior?
just said made a lot of sense. But as I said, if it is not broken, don't fix it. But from what they are saying, it's like something is often broken. They try to fix something.
But why didn't they engage
But always
before?
try. Yeah, I agree with you. Especially when you have a nagging partner, engage. But we don't want a situation
But-
whereby the
Yeah,
NDC
it's
will be
needless.
the
Ishak,
decision
It's
maker
needless
for
to be
Ishak,
bringing
for
in
the
this
issue.
nagging partner thing.
Ishak,
It's
this,
needless.
Eh?
this
It's
comparison
needless.
Yes.
does not fit because
Yes.
the EC was dealing with the media. It was
Okay.
not with political parties. So the
Well,
point.
but those who are complaining are more the political
No,
parties
we
than
the
the
media
You
have
are-
been
you are also
complaining.
complaining
We,
now.
the
That's
media-
not right.
The other voice I can
Yeah, but
hear
you
is
also
the
com-
NDC.
no.
It has not been the NDC.
No,
it
but
has
what I'm
been
saying,
the media
I'm
complaining.
It's like leave
Look,
NDC out
I'm
of
almost
this.
in agreement with you.
But why
to
you-
say
why
that
you introducing a
electoral
nagging partner?
commission should not always bring reform unless something is broken.
Mm.
The explanation that they have given does not fully satisfy me. I would want them to always
So
do
leave it at that.
consultation with stakeholders. So the media should have been part of the table, and the political parties, especially those who will complain for no reason, just put them on the table. And if you get agreement with the media, see, transparency is very important. Me, I want an election whereby nobody will have a reason to complain when the election is declared. And the electoral commission must be committed to that regards.
Okay.
And as part of that commitment, make sure that every decision that you want to take, you have a proper rationale behind it and bring the stakeholders on board. Because, yes, I don't want to, I mean,
Did they give off the impression that the EC had something to hide?
that's what people are reading to it. And the
What-
very person
how
who is
about
reading
you?
to
How
it
about you?
is the NDC.
How about you?
Me, I don't read anything to it. Me, I try. Yesterday when I heard it, I was in the Randy Abe show on Good Morning Ghana. I said, let's try to find out the reason behind this decision. Me, I always want to hear why somebody is doing it before I can reason whether their reason is justified enough.
Okay.
But the moment you heard it, for me, in my polling station in Wale Wale, the Coalition Center, age is even too much. Age is even too much because I want visibility of the process. Especially party agents and all those people who have interest, they must be able to see direct. And if you have about 20,
if you have
30
been,
media
if
houses,
you have been to the coalition centers, the media does not block access.
I have been there, but what I'm
You
trying
do
to
not
say
block
is
access.
that
Most
I don't-
often, there's
Yes.
a barricade. There's a
Yeah.
barricade beyond which you cannot go.
And I said, I am happy that they have now suspended it.
All right.
I believe they should not even go ahead with it. Maybe they should widen the circle for people to have more space. Perhaps they should bring it to the open.
All right.
But the only trouble about bringing it to the open is troublemakers as well.
Okay.
So this electoral commission is like they're in a business they might not be able to win. So if they make minor mistake, let's not blow things out of proportion. As she said, people are losing confidence in the system, not necessarily because they are really wrong, but because of the perception people have developed because of whining partners.
Because of their own conduct, more like it. Let's go to Mr. Jantua. Mr. Jantua, this issue in relation to the media, at the moment they say they put it on ice and they are engaging further on it. Did the EC even have to go there?
Yesterday we asked the EC because the EC was there. So one of the first questions was, why are you deciding to limit the media at the regional coalition centers?
And the constituency ones as well,
Yes,
beyond the
constituent-
regionals.
Yes, beyond the regions. And they said, look, the space, we can't have all media people there. And we don't want a situation where people can come and foment trouble. But then you ask the question, this coalition center, is it a room?
No, it's not.
It's a hall, isn't it?
Yes.
And have we not been able, when the president meets the press, isn't every pressman there?
Yeah.
Isn't it the same size kind of hall? So what is stopping it? Because You want the press to be there to be able to monitor whatever goes on. They can report in real time to people that at this particular collation center, ABCD is happening. Police go there. Or there's been somebody has collapsed or something is happening. Fire service, ambulance, go there. Or this thing is burning, please go there. Or we are having problems with the internet. Whatever internet provider they are using, quickly go there. The media is key in elections. Key. The media isn't only there to report mishaps. The media is there to be the eyes for everybody. Because if there's perimeter fencing, everybody can't go into that perimeter fencing. But the media can get their people to go in there with their electronic cameras. Anyway, the MPP is preaching digitalization. Should we not start there? The cameras that the media use, are they pinhole cameras? You know what a pinhole camera is?
Yeah.
When we were children, we used to do pinhole cameras. Are they pinhole cameras? They are sophisticated equipment. They are drones, eh?
Yeah.
They have drones that fly in real time. We want to see things in real time. We want to see innovation with our media people who monitor these elections. So you really can't stop them, because you don't want to create certain perceptions in the mind that you are up to some wuru thing you want to do, so you don't want the media to be there. And Ghanaians, we are quick to jump to those type of things. And that can foment trouble. So it's a good thing they haven't rescinded. They've suspended.
Yes.
Now, they have suspended because they don't want it to look as if, the move that they took was wrong. So, they are ashamed about it. So if they suspended it, it's fine.
They're ashamed?
Yes, they're ashamed because it was a wrong move. It was a real wrong move. The Electoral Commission should be the mother of the country and be able to train, educate, and let people understand the electoral system very well. Unfortunately, we have an electoral system or electoral commission, not only in this particular time, but in this Fourth Republic, we've had electoral commission which is perceived to be under the, of the ruling party in power. We want an independent electoral commissioner, where the independent electoral commissioner can tell the president, I'm not going to do this. Can tell the party, I'm not going to do this, because my responsibility is to the people of Ghana. My responsibility as chair is to serve the people of Ghana. This election isn't the people of Ghana.
It is.
Is the people of Ghana going to exercise their power, isn't it? And if there's an arbiter in there who organizes this one, should that arbiter not be on the side of the people of Ghana? It's just that the politics in this country has turned its head upside down. It's turned its head upside down. And we've made political parties feel as if they are strong and they can sit on our heads. Because all these people we are voting for, they are there to serve us. The president,
until they get into
even when they get into power, and that is one reason why we are voting for them. Go and serve us. Go and use the country's money well. All this money that we are using, is it the party's money?
No.
Isn't it the people's money? So you get president inaugurating projects. Is it his money? Is it his party's money? Isn't it the people's money? It is what you told us you use our money for.
that you're doing.
That you are doing. So we shouldn't come and, carry you in a palanquin that you've done now. You are there to do our bidding.
All right. Thank you very much.
Period.
Mr. Alifo, a quick one on...
Well, I'm just happy that they beat the retreat, and I'm glad that even the Shark says that he didn't.
Shark.
Yes, he didn't agree to, and except that the other thing he was introducing about nagging partner was needless, completely needless. But I don't know what they are afraid of the EC. But you see again, it's just a trait, because this election cycle, you would see that. There were a number of things they would want to do, and then their attention will be drawn, or maybe there will be a complaint from NDT, and then they will retreat, and all of that. So this is just one of those things again, and I believe that all of these things were planned, and if there were no objections, no resistance, they would have gone ahead with it. And just like many other things they were doing, they refer to as mistakes, you know. And that is what I keep telling our people, that look, this year's elections, we are going to have agents that are going to insist on the right thing to be done at the polling stations. And anytime they draw the attention, because what we notice is that the presiding officers, we're not going strictly
according to
the rules, to the CI 127. So this time we are going to draw their attention to it every step of the way, and they will always come back and say, oh, it's an error, it's a mistake. Because when you catch them, that's what they can say, and that's what has been happening to the commission itself. Anytime you catch them, anytime they come out with a number, for registered number of people, and then you tell them this, oh, it's corral draw. We use corral draw. That's why we now correct it, and then they correct it. Anytime you draw their attention, and so this is just one of those again, that they thought that, well, we can just push the media
aside. You think if there hadn't been the backlash, you would have stuck with it?
I'm telling you, honestly. And so, and I believe that there may be a few other tricks they may want to pull off until the election day.
That?
Yes, they've been doing that all along.
Why are doing it with a you see what we are talking about?
Yeah, they've been doing that all along.
You know,
I've given you a trait.
Let me read to you.
I'm telling you that they have done that all along this cycle. And so there's every reason.
That's the trouble, because you are imputing an ultimate objectives for them.
Well, I don't. Why shouldn't I have every right to suspect? I have every right to suspect. If you create suspicion, you can't force me not to suspect any conclusion for your
so why do
for
you
your
always
action.
Put it in the MPP? Why don't you put it on CPP?
Put what on MPP? It is
Then
your
the
people that are there. The
government
people you
is
have. The
right
people that are
Put
the
it on
EC.
CPP
The
here.
EC. The EC officials are MPP operatives. Don't you know they have appointed MPP operatives, MPP functionaries working there?
Perhaps
So why
they
should I
don't
put it on
have- They don't
CPP?
have a manifesto before.
So-
They are
No, forget about their manifesto. That's not what we are
why
talking
don't you put it
about.
on the
I am saying that the Electoral Commission is
Yeah.
full of MPP operatives. It's well known.
Not
And so-
exactly full.
No,
There are people who.
Well, more than half of the.
There are some appointments. That
Yes,
are
the
made
clear
by the
MPP,
president
yes.
clearly-
Yeah, but the rest, how would you
Could
know
they-
where they belong? We know
Could they-
from their utterances, we know where they all belong.
The constitution
they-
that
Could they,
the
at a
president
point,
shouldn't appoint people.
Well,
It
no.
was the same appointment John Mahama did.
Yes,
Okay,
but he
so-
didn't appoint any known NDC operative
Let's
to
not-
the commission.
Tell me,
Let's
Ghanaian, who is neutral
quickly.
now?
So it's not about being neutral.
No,
There
you
are
see,
people who do
it's
not show
about-
political colors.
It's about objectivity.
Yes,
more
there are
about
people who do not show
objectivity.
political colors at all.
So let's move on quickly to the issue of Parliament recall, and I'll just take it from Mr. Leaf, and I'll go in this order and end with Mr. Jantua. The Speaker of Parliament said that it will not be reasonable at this point in time for the House to be recalled, and it will be better for the House to be recalled after the elections. Were you surprised by the decision of the Speaker?
Well, if he had recalled Parliament, I would have been surprised. So I'm not surprised.
You
with this
didn't
one.
think the time was
No,
favorable?
yeah, whether time or not, I don't think that. Look, with all that is going on, I think that what he did is appropriate. We don't want any more drama at Parliament, and they are the master of their own rules, you know. So if he thinks that it's not appropriate to recall Parliament, fine. If I had recalled Parliament, there wouldn't have been anything for us to do. We only complain. So this one, I am very satisfied with it, because right from the onset, I thought that the then majority leader, who is now a minority leader, got it all wrong anyway by running to court to send the issues about Parliament to the court for the court to determine, you know. So clearly the Speaker, being a very experienced lawmaker himself, he has made the right decision, so that we will not see the courts meddling in the affairs of Parliament. That's not what we want. That's not what we have bargained for. That's not what democracy is about. So the court should stay clear. And so, yeah, you know, they have just shown to the court that you can't force us to go and sit. And it's clear. We are very happy about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ishak?
Alifa is doing very well for his party today. He kept confessing.
That what?
Your last statement,
can
just
you-
rehearse it.
That what?
Kindly
Confess
speak
what?
into
Eh?
your... Kindly speak
Confess-
into
Yes.
your-
confess about
You
what?
see, it didn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You see, from the beginning of this crisis, it was a manufactured crisis, manufactured by the NDC, and the Speaker left his role of neutrality to preside over Parliament and became a player on the side of the NDC, sadly. In fact, this Speaker will go down as the most lawless Speaker in the Fourth Republic. That is my opinion, and I believe
Yeah,
that.
but
It
when you are
didn't
making
surprise me.
reckless opinions like
No,
that.
it is not a reckless opinion.
Oh, yeah.
It is an opinion founded on the facts.
Founded on what? On your
On the
facts.
fact.
On what
The
facts?
fact-
The facts
the
are
court-
twisted by you.
the court
The
has
facts
now
are
made it
twisted by
very
you.
clear.
The courts have no
The court
right
have
to
made
meddle
it
in the
very
affairs
clear.
of
But they
parliament.
have
That's what we
done
also
so.
say. Yes,
No,
they have done so
Article
wrongly.
2 Article 2
Yes,
have
they've
given
done so
them the
wrongly.
power.
No.
Mr. Alifu,
No.
Eh?
Yeah.
Kindly-
Article 125 and Article
No, I'm
2.
saying he cannot be saying
The
such things
final
about the
judicial
speaker.
power of Ghana lies with the courts. And Article 2 have given them the power to intervene, especially when there is an illegal power grab by the speaker.
So
So it did not surprise me that he has done that. But
he did what?
he has rejected it. Even look at
So-
the way.
so people-
That's why the court making the.
But it was
decision.
his-
So you should
Look
go
at
back.
even
So go
the
back
way-
to court.
If you want to know this speaker is playing politics, look at how he addressed it. The leader
Are they,
of government
are they
business.
not all?
Ah,
So
Why
let's-
can't you call him the majority
He's
leader?
not a majority leader anymore.
He is a
He
majority.
is not.
This is
The
a
not
speaker,
a
the
majority.
speaker doesn't see him like that.
Please,
No.
please.
No, you can't. You can't be
making the- the speaker does not
believe in
Urge him to offer
we
me
have
the
to wrap
courtesy.
up. Kindly
Okay.
address the issue and let's move.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that it doesn't even address me. The letter written by the Speaker of Parliament even contains politics. He's looking for a job at the end of this Parliament. My only prayer. Can you tell him to offer me
His
courtesy?
microphone is not on.
My only. As long as he talks, my meter stops.
No, yes, well.
Please speak.
Can you tell him to stop?
Make your point. His
The
microphone is
audience
off.
cannot read me. Look, in a democracy, equality of arms is very important. I'm not offering equal arm because Alifo is speaking alongside myself.
Please go ahead and make
Okay.
your point. His microphone is off.
So the point I'm making is that what Ghanaians need to do for us now is that Nkrumah said black man is capable. We need to prove that black man is capable of managing our own affairs. This speaker has failed us in that regard. And he only failed us because Ghanaians have given us a hung parliament. So what Ghanaians need to do now is to vote massively for the MPP so that when we come back, we don't deal with speakers like this anymore. We get a speaker who will believe in neutrality and be able to preside over the affairs of parliament so that we can work in the national interest.
All right.
This speaker doesn't believe in national interest. He only believes in his own interest and the interest of the National Democratic Party, in the
Congress.
interest of National Damages Party, that we should never allow them. Yes.
If he did that to you, you would not be happy. Mr. Jantwa, you have the final word. Mr. Jantwa, the speaker says the timing is not favorable. It would be better to do the recall, have the recall after the elections.
Let me ask the question. Did Afenyo Markin have the chance to recall Parliament once upon a time?
Yes,
What happened?
the speaker did honor it.
And what happened? Was there business, parliamentary business to discuss?
No, there wasn't.
Did the MPP appear in Parliament?
No.
So what is Afenyo Markin talking about now?
He says the speaker thinks Parliament is for him.
No. Answer that question.
That
Speaker gave him the opportunity,
yes,
didn't he?
Yes.
If the MPP had come and there was government business, wouldn't Parliament have gone on?
one of their major issues was that the NDC was sitting at the majority side.
They should have been able to sort this thing out ages ago between the two leaders. The speaker shouldn't have even come in. Between the two leaders, they could have sorted this out. But when Afenyo Markin quickly sends an injunction to Supreme Court to injunct the speaker from going to say what he has to say, what would you expect? Parliament is a house of consensus. Parliament is a house of collaboration. Parliament is a house of transparency. You're trying to tell me they wouldn't have been able to sort this out. Hasn't it happened before?
It has.
It happened before. Did it go to Supreme Court? Didn't they resolve it? So why did the majority leader run to Supreme Court for cover? Why? To injunct the speaker. The speaker is a power to himself in the house. Separation of powers. Separation of powers. And he is governed by rules in the house. So you think there is time enough between now and next week to go through 22 bills?
They said it would have been the House would have been recalled yesterday and today, and they were hoping to
They will
tackle
go through
those
22
bills.
Yeah, sure.
How about 10?
Listen, wait. Isn't Parliament supposed to go on recess?
Yes.
It's supposed to go on recess on the 14th. Aren't parliamentarians in their constituencies campaigning? Will it not impinge on their campaigning in their constituencies? Would it not be costly for Ghana to recall all of them back with this short duration? So I think Amaki should grow up and stop this. The time for Parliament to come back has passed. Has passed. So if the Speaker says, and the Speaker has promised that after elections it will come back. However, if the elections go second round, then Yamutu, forget it.
This Parliament is dead.
It's finished. If it goes second round, it's finished. If it doesn't, yes, the Speaker can come back. But most importantly, even if it goes second round, the one bill that needs to be passed is the interim budget.
Yes.
Because people's
The
salaries,
expenditure and appropriation
people's
of-
salaries are in that
in the
budget. And that is when the MPP should have thought, when they recalled Parliament, to be there to pass that particular budget. They should stop crying spilled milk, because between now and Saturday, nothing can happen. In fact, between now and Friday is a holiday, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Mutu. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me for the weekly review segment. Hey, every day they will come. Very calm. Before the show ends, everywhere scatter.
Because Isaac has become a destroyer, and they are giving him,
There's a job
they are
for
giving him exposure.
There's
It's
a
going
job